Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here, coming to you from our studios at the Capital Region International Airport. And we're going to stay in Lansing right now, spend a little time with Brad Ward. He's the Vice President of Public Policy and Legal Affairs at the Michigan Realtors Association. Brad, welcome to the show. It's good to have you on, bud.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me, Chris.
It's obvious, everybody talks about it. There's a housing shortage, right? And it's increasingly seen as a business issue, not just a housing issue. So, how is the Housing Readiness Plan tied to this economic growth and workforce attraction?
That's a great question. So the housing readiness legislation is really there are bills that I have identified obstacles to building new housing, obstacles that add cost to housing within the state of Michigan. The state of Michigan has very little in terms of the sphere of what they can control. We can't control tariffs or global supply chain or things like that that all go into the price of new homes. But what these bills do is look at, in particular, local zoning, red tape, regulation, and things that we can do to kind of get out of the way of new home development, to build more homes at more affordable prices for Michiganders, and just kind of get out of the way so people can get in more homes.
Brad, I think very much like our Michigan Future Business Index, government regulation always pops up. I would say ordinance always pops up in your corner of the world. What can be done? Will this take care of a lot of that?
I wish I could tell you that there was just one piece of legislation that we could pass, and all of a sudden we have more homes in Michigan, and they're more affordable for everyone. But we have to really take a tiered approach. We didn't get into this crisis overnight, and we're not going to get out of it overnight. But there are some key reforms that we can do, like looking at duplexes and single family zones, reducing minimum lot sizes, reducing setback requirements, reducing home size requirements, looking at getting rid of parking minimums, eliminating development studies, and putting a shot clock on development approval. Those are things that we can do as a state, as local governments, to try and create a pathway for more affordable housing. Red tape regulation, as you point out, adds cost to business. It also adds cost to housing. I think the National Association of Homebuilders had a study that said about $94,000 of a cost of a new home is all wrapped up into kind of that red tape and regulation.
So this is a case where the Fed's still holding where they are at interest rates.
Yeah.
So that is the unaffordability factor. Maybe we're taking something with this from the expense side, which is good. The interesting thing is, like the realtors and the home builders and a pretty broad coalition are involved in this whole thing. That's got to kind of demonstrate the urgency.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the coalition is growing every day. This coalition includes business groups because when businesses bring jobs here, they also need places for those employees to live. We also have the home builders ourselves, manufactured housing, rental property owners, housing advocate groups, even kind of nonpartisan folks who just have a general interest in, the state's well-being and health, have taken positions on this, as well as, environmental groups.
Yeah. Now, this isn't necessarily targeted at affordable housing. This is across the board, is it not?
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, it can definitely lead to affordable housing development. We have a lot of local zoning in place that prevents things like high density, multifamily. Those things would definitely be, part of what's addressed through this package. But the bottom line is that we have really stopped as a nation building what we would consider kind of a starter home.
Yeah.
New starter homes are a very, very small portion of the market. And so our existing housing stock has kind of been filling that, what we consider a starter home. But it's not just starter homes. We have an aging population too, and we need downsize type of homes for people to move into. But zoning rules and regulations require us to build on bigger lots, build bigger houses, in order to actually try to make some sort of profit on the building and to accommodate local rules and regulations.
It's kind of interesting because employers out there right now are struggling to attract talent, right?
Yep.
This has to play into that.
Oh, absolutely. Our National Association of Realtors does a study every year. Their most recent study from the past years, 56% of millennials, so those people who are coming here, taking those new jobs, and even 42% of baby boomers are looking for smaller homes in walkable communities. And in a lot of areas of the state, zoning doesn't allow you to build those types of homes that about half the market is looking for. So you can
Yeah.
see where the economic pressure of half the market wants something that we build very little of.
Yeah, and there's often tension between statewide reform and local control. How does that play into this housing readiness plan?
Yeah, again, this isn't stripping away local control. Local control still exists. Local still set zoning districts. We still have public hearings under these bills. There's still planning commissions. There are still local meetings, local votes, design controls on all of this that exist. Local control is great and should be respected, but when local control stands in the way of something we need, like new housing, it's time to do something different.
Well, Brad Ward, you get out there and remove those obstacles, would you? All right.
Will do. Thanks for having me, Chris.
Brad Ward, Vice President of Public Policy and Legal Affairs at the Michigan Realtors Association. You've been watching this on the Michigan Business Beat, which is on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman. We'll be back with more.